All right, first let's get everybody leveled, starting with a Tessera. What do we got? Tech use and logic, and then is there... I guess it's just picking. Let's see. Awareness. Sanctioned diviner. Lore. Ooh. We're so, like... I kind of want to get some more awareness in. Okay, that was just kind of like a quick level up. Let's do this one. Athletics. We could do demolition. We don't need it. Or there's the Navy officer. Oh, interesting. So he's got that. Let's give him athletics that time. Dun, dun. When do we get to pick these? I imagine like later on. Dun, bum, bum. This is for... Okay. Let's pick... How is that going? Apparently, I need to up that because I have the most currently. 40 and then 30. Let's give you more logic. And then I feel like we're gonna do demolition. Because that's not a bad thing to up right now. All right. So, necessary to find the master helmsman. He's the only one capable. So, which way are we going? That was so incredibly sad, though, the way that all went down. Victory awaits. No, that is not where we need to go. Wait. Master helmsman. I found him! Ravor, master helmsman, system status report. By the Emperor. Oh, he got a portrait! That is... Oh, that's a beautiful... That is a beautiful, beautiful portrait. By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. The white-haired man with sickly pale skin salutes you. Well, there's a tricky question. The whole place is so overgrown with foul wickedry. We'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for Throne knows how long. We need to reestablish the... How did you survive here? The man glances around the bridge. Must have been Providence. It's better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some of the officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could, dragged him behind the cogitators, and then I prayed for our rescue. We need to reestablish contact with the Navigator's sanctum. It's the only chance of escaping. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices, commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking. Restore the Vox channel to the system to the Navigator Sanctum. Ready the crew, prepare for translation to real space. Abelard pauses for a few seconds before turning to you. Tessera, you may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You're the only one who speaks for House von Valencius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserves to take up her place in the ritual that is about to commence. He directs your attention upward to the throne that sits at the apex of the tall staircase. What must I do? Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report. Blast it all to the void. Translation is a craft, not something to be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Please hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk. I'm ready. This is it. So is that where I'm going? No. Yes. Oh, what is that? He came right in my face. Oh, goodness. Okay. Edge of Daybreak is apparently who this is. And wow, you're a looker. A vision of unimaginable vileness appears before your eyes. The flickering image shifts and wavers as if the azure-feathered creature is constantly changing while still remaining the same. One of its eyes is engulfed in the otherworldly fire. The other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. Its voice seems to seep directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears. It resonates and merges with the voices that have already dug their foul roots into your consciousness. A moment later, you realize that all these voices are the myriad manifestations of the same call that has finally invaded your mind. Mortal, who are you to oppose the very flow of fate? So many threads stretch between you and other creatures of your world. Pitiful, worthless links, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. A muddled, erratic, pointless tangle. That first option, I feel like we have to go with that. I'm saving my people. Do your worst, but you can't stop me. The creature lets out a long shriek, a shrill, overwhelming sound that can only be interpreted as laughter. Lead them, mortal. Guide them. Persuade them. Force them to walk your path. You will need followers, for destiny is preordained. The demon peers into you. Your head begins to spin, your stomach turns, and a viscous drop slithers down your cheek. This shard of reality drifting through my domain is merely the arena for the one who dared to vie for the favor of the gods. The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy to procure that which elevates a mortal above others. A relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured and the step chosen, and yet you broke the unbreakable. The aspirant was defeated and thus gave birth to a new aspirant. Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I see you on the day when the final dawn rises over the metal world, when the gates of the realm of the sorcerer open and set the truth free. I see you at my side on that day. I rise again, and I am the will of the weaver of destinies. And today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances, the thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return. The demon reaches towards you and sinks a ghostly claw into your chest. A terrible cold binds your body, and a cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. A flash of crimson, purple. Images replace one after another in a violent kaleidoscope without ever letting you get a proper look at them. The path is set, child of dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine. Oh no. I don't think I want to be this person's servant. Oh no. Nope, I don't know if I want this. Ravor turns around and looks up at you. He hesitates for a few moments and then addresses Abelard, who's standing next to you. Seneschal, the navigator sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means... He nods absent-mindedly. Navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valencius flagship. We will honor his memory along with all of those who died this day. Ravor does not look away. He's giving you a hard stare, his white brows furrowed. Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain? It takes time for Abelard to respond. You watch as he grits his teeth, unable to bring himself to say anything. Finally, he adjusts his blood-stained coat, straightens, and begins to speak. First Officer Abelard Wessarian is authorized to inform the officers. It is my greatest regret, an indelible sorrow to inform you that of the untimely passing of Lord Captain Theodora von Valencius, rogue traitor in the service of the Imperium. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. After waiting out the first wave of shocked cries, Abelard glances at you and continues. By the right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision. Okay, I like it that you can fight this. I honestly do. And I think there is definitely something to be said for a character that fights this all the way through. And I think playing a stubborn AF, I am not going to become rogue trader, you can't make me kind of character would be fantastic. But I don't think that's Tessera. So we're going to say nothing. It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valencius is Tessera von Valencius, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade and the title of rogue trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, he stops short and glares fiercely at the confused officers. Have you lost your tongues? Hail your lady. It is because of her toils we all still live. The Seneschal turns to you. He looks at least half a decade older. The deed is done, Tessera. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain. And I hope he still calls us Tessera. I don't want to be Lord Captain to him. We're friends. No, we're always just going to be Tess to him. That's so sad. It looks like the bridge got cleaned up. Where are we? Deep shadows of weariness can be seen on Abelard's face. Though the old officer's eyes are keen, they rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, and then nods to himself. Well then, your ladyship. You cannot help but notice that the Seneschal does not know how to talk to you or where to begin. His hesitation brings an involuntary smirk to your face, as though someone else entirely is gloating at the old officer's confusion. Seeing your smile, he pulls himself together. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy. while others go unfulfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How did we come to lose so many? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found, which is unsurprising given that their informant on board was our own Master of Whispers. Wait, there's an altogether more pressing problem. I do not... Oh, man, you can really fight this. So you can say, wait, there's an altogether more pressing problem. I do not wish to be a rogue trader. I do love that they're giving you this. They're giving you that opportunity to fight this tooth and nail all the way through. Oh, so good. What's on the agenda for the meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I'm still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird flying could take a gargantuan effort. Even so, as far as you are personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers whom work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. All right, summon the officers. I am the Lady Captain. No, like with him, I never want to pull rank. I hate pulling rank with companions unless they're like assholes, and he's definitely not an asshole. Let's begin the sum. Let's summon the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the order to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. All right, who are we meeting? Who do I have a standing? Where am I? Is this me? No. Oh, I'm in my oh, look it. Tess, you're on your throne, girl. I'm so happy for you. A dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expression revealing restraints, joy, curiosity, and wariness. Attention, officers, you've been granted an honor. Lord Captain Tessera von Valencius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Yawn, I haven't got time to be listening to every oh my gosh, that's so rude. You can definitely play up the rudeness. Perhaps you would introduce those present. As you wish, your ladyship. He points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain many implants, as does its flesh. Vigdis Suriota of the Tolman line, our new Vox Master. It's an honor to serve your ladyship. The Vox Master offers a deep bow. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I'm responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I'm your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. I love the portrait. Oh, so good. So good. Beside her is Ravor, the master helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into the asteroid field or a pirate trap. The bearded man with pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seem hardwired into his face give a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here's ship's as good as home to me. So rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum generous Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Dressed in an embroidered jacket. His portrait is it really is an embroidered jacket. The heavyset man with oiled hair offers a smile and a bow. It is an honor, your ladyship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for artillery aboard, and the Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship, and lastly, the Engine Master, servant of the Omnissiah. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Engine Master offers a salute resembling a dance involving a complicated manipulation of all the tech priests' mechadendrites. Thank you, Abelard. Greetings to you all. I serve at your pleasure, Lord Captain. Like this is, it's so interesting because you go from basically like being in the thick of it with him and like just this is like, you don't know if you're going to survive. And that creates this very interesting bond between people. But now to see him putting himself kind of separated from you, and depending on how you play your character, depending on what kind of attachments, this can either feel good and normal, or this doesn't. This could also feel like you wanted that close connection with him. Why is he stepping away, kind of thing, which you understand, like, why. You are the Lord Captain, he has to maintain his post, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just interesting depending on how you want to play your character and your character's relationships with people. You can already start to have feelings one way or another. Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our chief engineer and navigator who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set us so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first. Our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your ladyship, if you will allow me to interject, when we arrived in the system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted an account of all available communication channels in the region. One of them was of a Navis Nobilite station. The station maintains a complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. So, okay, so now we're going to go look for a new navigator. A sharp bolt of pain lances through your skull, as if in response to what you just heard. You understand that that is not the God Emperor you should thank for such good fortune. The words of the daemon that appear before you during the translation to real space echo in your mind. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. A thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids too as your new residence. And slightly less shitty news, we can go around and around this system till our heads are swimming as long as the promethium and the supplies last. And if any thick as grok shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't worry on that score. All right, Master Infernus report. Or the Infernus Master's report, sorry. Yes, Lord Captain, the tall young man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment in terms of material losses and crew casualties has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. Abelard remarks in a low voice pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. That's fantastic. I love that he's kind of stepping in now and giving you some tidbits of information. Like, this is definitely, such a good working relationship already. High Factotum, what have you to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your ladyship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given to the tech priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. And there's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately, this number is confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Ricad Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiating at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Especially true, and given Caligor's Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later, the kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planet. Engine Master? A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the tech priest's scarlet hood. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon his noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the chief engineer, overseer, and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little detestable flesh that remained part of him. A most terrible loss. Okay. The Magos was betrayed by the little detestable flesh that remained. Oh, okay. A most terrible loss. There's no one among my comrades aboard who experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals to that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement as soon as possible. I see. Thank you. Actually, I think I have an understanding of what they're saying, but I'm curious, but I also don't want to be rude, but let's do this. The ship's most senior tech priest, most senior both in rank and experience, is dead. If we do not find a replacement, we will be unable to resolve the problems with the warp engine, answers the Vox Master instantly without even thinking. This is not the first time she has acted as an interpreter between the ship's various inhabitants. I love her so much. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? He gives you a gloomy look. No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told. But just ask anyone. We've got no able crew. No Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship's in ruins. Every second officer's dead. And now we've got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where. Silence. The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer. Oh! Abelard grunts. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, then that's not bad at all. Your ladyship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have us do with this Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides finding a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up. So, Benevolencia is to stand down, release him. I have no intentions of punishing a man for a moment of weakness, not after the terrible attack we've endured. We can execute him, or... Experienced masters of ordnance are few and far between, so for that reason he may remain in post. I leave his punishment at your discretion. I kind of like 3 on this one because on one hand, the more, benevolent, if you will, option is nice, but I feel like at the same time puts you as Lord Captain in a very... I don't want to say weak position because it's not weak, but it definitely puts you in a precarious situation where if the wrong person hears that you were lenient here, they might try to take advantage of you in a different way down the road. And it might show that you can be somewhat manipulated-ish. So I like the 3rd one for this because I'm not going to execute the guy. But let's leave his punishment to the discretion of Abelard. 20 lashes a month for the next half cycle. Deprivation of officers' rations and privileges for the same period, with the option to extend to record that in his file. Abelard stares unblinkingly at the Master of Ordnance. Cease your sniveling. You disgrace yourself and your entire clan. Enough! The hysterics are over. Let us resume. The Master of Ordnance stands up, wiping the blood from his broken nose. His face is the picture of shock. What just happened seems to be dawning on him only now, and the knowledge of the fate he so narrowly escaped. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew members. We require a new chief engineer and navigator. Is that all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship is in need of serious repairs, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall first without resolving these 3 immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system we find ourselves in? I cede to the Vox Master on this point. We're in the Rakad star system. Our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your ladyship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in this system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobilite station has not simply failed to answer, it seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system. The Rakad Minoris itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Navis Nobilite station and find out what in the void is going on. Thank you all for your reports. The assembled officers salute you as one. Your ladyship, there is one other thing, a confidential matter that the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, he hesitates, your eternally esteemed predecessor, brought the ship here to the system for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything, and I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. It would I would be honored to fulfill the Inquisitor's commission. What is he asked of Theodora? I came across a strange letter on Theodora's desk. It was signaled XC. Are you referring to the contents of that note, I presume? Is that so? What is the task? All right, let's do number 2. You know, what if I simply choose to ignore it? We can't. We can't. That is quite right. XC, Xavier, Calcazar. There we go. Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Onric von Calix, an interrogator. You understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in the system. We must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Forbundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobilate or the governor of the Ricad Minoris, may know something. That is all, your ladyship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you. But it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valencia's protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he's about to offer some words of encouragement. But he doesn't. Oh no. Adira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The sister of battle grimly nods towards Adira. The psyker is suffering some ailment or dark madness. She's insisting on seeing the rogue trader. I judge that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. I love this so much. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Talk with me while you have time, rogue trader. Adira's mutant eyes rove over the assembled. One word bursts from her lip. Daybreak. Adira? Adira, honey, come to your senses. Is there anything of value to report? I declare this time to get... Damn it! She presses her fingers to her temples. Your ladyship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn? It's ringing and ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything? No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk. All shouting at once. I can't make sense of any of it. As soon as I know anything else, I'll report it, all right? And if there's nothing else, this briefing is concluded. And there we are. I guess we are officially the rogue trader then?